Welcome to my video. Today we're going to be replacing a watch battery. We're going to be using this Fossil watch right here, whose battery has died on me. And the first thing we're going to need to do before we can do anything else is get the strap off. This watch has a strap that goes around behind it. Makes it nice and comfy. Since it's a big heavy watch, it doesn't tend to hurt your wrist quite as much with this on it, but it sure makes it a pain to replace a watch battery. Fortunately, we don't have to do it too often. We're going to be using this little tool. This tool is specifically made for removing spring bars. Spring bar is the little bar that goes in between these lugs. This is the watch case. These are the lugs. Here's the strap, and there's a bar that runs right straight through here, and that bar has got a spring in it. That's why we call it a spring bar. Now, Fossil realized that you're going to have to get that out of there. And it can be a pain in the butt sometimes to get this little tool back in between this band and here to pry, which is why that little notched tool is the way it is. So what they've done is they've given us a little release lever right here. That little silver deal right there is the release lever. So all we have to do is put our bar behind that release lever, push in and up, and we're done. And we do the same thing on this side. What we're going to do is we're going to take our bar, we're going to slide our tool right in behind that release bar, if you can see that, and we're going to pull that release bar this direction towards my hand. When we do, we push up a little bit, that pops loose, and it's done. So now we've got this released. So there are two tools we can use for opening this back. This particular one looks like a screw back. The reason I say that is because if you look, it has little places on it, little notched cutouts, where a tool can go in. And you use that tool to unscrew this. This is the tool. Now I've already got the little pins set up in it. This has removable pins. And you can get them with little notches like this. You can get them that are solid like that, or you can get them with little pins like that, little round pins. Now in this case we need the little notch, a little square type pin. That's because that is going to fit inside this little piece. So we take this, we put that inside there, push, and that's it. Now I want all of these facing in. And by that I mean I want all of these facing the center of that. Now if you look at this, you see how it's kind of leaned that direction just a little bit? It's kind of leaned that way. I want it facing in towards the center. This one I want facing this way. This one I want facing in towards the center, so that everything faces right there in the center. Now there's two controls on this tool. This control right here, as you spin it, these two pins right here get closer and further apart. This one right here can get closer to these two or further away by turning the handle. So if you watch it, you should see that it's getting closer and closer to those two up top. And then further and further and further away from those two up top. So now we're going to take this, we're going to take this and put it right there, like that. And then we're going to use our little adjustment on the top. Get that back in there. To spread it out until the second one drops into place. And it just did. And then I'm going to hold those two, and I'm going to adjust the bottom one by moving the handle like that. I can now turn counterclockwise to loosen that. Now once this is loose, I'm going to switch to my special little ball. This is not a regular toy ball that you can get at a department store or a toy store. This is a very special watch back tool because it's very, very sticky. Even when you wash it off with Dawn and everything else, it's still very sticky, and that's exactly what you want. So it sticks to the metal on the back of the case. So you push it into the case, twist, twist, back comes off. Easy enough. Now we'll use that again here in just a minute. So now what we have is we have, let me grab the point with, let's do this. We have a rubber O-ring right here. Be careful that you do not hurt that rubber O-ring. Okay? So anything that gets near this O-ring, you don't want to, misthread the back. You don't want a tool to slide into it or anything like that. You want to stay away from that and make sure it stays in the little groove that it's in. For our work, we're trying to get to the battery, which is underneath this little plastic piece right here. So the first thing we have to do is we have to get this plastic off here. Well, that just pops right out. No problem. I'm going to set that aside. So now we have to get that battery. Now if you look very close, you'll see there's a screw right there. We need to get that screw out. So we take an actual watch screwdriver, an actual watch screwdriver for that. Make sure you get the exact correct size. That is a problem. You place the screwdriver in the screw and you twist. And you're very careful. Don't slide around too much, like I appear to be doing. Now in most of these, you can get the screw loose on this side without actually taking it out. And then you can get the battery out. So to get the battery out, we're going to very gently try and pull it out with a pair of tweezers. Okay, let me see if I've got that loose enough or not. Okay. Now, if it doesn't quite want to come loose, and this one does not quite want to come loose, you may need to loosen that screw just a little bit more. Now, it's not uncommon for that screw to come loose. If it does, be careful because that's a teeny tiny little screw. Still does not want to come out. I'm going to wind up taking this screw completely out. Yep. That's okay. Yep. Okay, if you pull the screw completely loose, that's how small this screw is. Do not lose that. If you drop it on the floor, especially in carpet or something like that, it's gone. Replacing that is going to be a nightmare. So once the screw comes out, you can pull the battery out and then go grab another battery. Now, once you have the new battery, putting it in there is going to be, whoa, fun. Problem is, you need to set it underneath the one side and then pop it underneath the other. It goes underneath that ledge. Now, each watch can be a little different. In this particular one, you got to set it up underneath one side and then slide it under the piece on the other side where the screw was. And you got to be very careful doing that. This little piece is where your screw holds it in. So now you have to hold the battery down and put the screw back in there. Now there's no way I can do that on this video because I got to stick my big head in here. Now, once you get the screw back in there, put your screwdriver in there and turn it until it is just snug. Now, let me reiterate that. Snug. You do not want it tight. You don't even want it in the same universe as tight. You just want it snug. So once it's snug, you're done. Now you need to put this plastic piece back in. Now, if you look very closely, you'll see that there is a groove right there. That groove lines up with that piece. See that bar coming up? So you take the groove, slide it on the bar, and then the plastic piece just sits down in there. That's it. Now you take your back, put it back on, making sure that you did not hurt that little rubber O-ring. Take your little rubber ball, go backwards to make sure that it seats good, then go forwards. Now the nice thing about this ball is it's almost impossible to over tighten the case back using just this ball. If you use this tool to put the case back on, you could very easily make it too tight, strip it, ruin the watch. So don't do that. Use the ball. Use your fingers to hold between the lugs, push the ball into the back, turn it until it doesn't go anymore. You're done. So now we need to put this back up. This little strap, if you look, there's your spring bar right there. There's a hole right in the lug right there. You can see that hole in the lug. So we want to put this spring bar in that hole like such. Once that's in there, we're going to go around to the front. We're going to grab our tool, and we're going to do the same thing we did last time, pushing this little bar in, except, I went a little too far. That's okay. Except this time, instead of pushing this strap away from the lugs, we're going to push it underneath that lug. So you push your release bar, now you may need to move it around a little bit until it locks in. And that's twice now I have missed. Cannot seem to get it. There it is, it clicked in. So now that's in there good. So now we're going to flip it and we're going to put the other side in. We're going to do the exact same thing. Now, what I'm going to try and do is push this piece in first and then put this in front of the lug, so it's right here. Put my thumb on it, so I'm pushing this way. I want to push in towards the lug. And that worked too well, didn't it? Yep, I went all the way past it. A little bit of patience. And there we go. Good as new. Be sure and subscribe. If you have any questions, go to my website. It's www.allen-stuff.com. There's an entire article on this. There's another article on opening the back in case you have a different kind of back. This was a screw back. They also make snap backs. So I can tell you how to open those. And if you have more questions, you can always use the contact form to send me an email. Thanks for watching.